Hi, Clark Reid back with you with more tech headlines. If you like the reports, help us out. Hit that like button, give it a little love tap, and you can also subscribe so you'll know when each new report is posted. The European Union has now called out Microsoft for breaching competition rules. TechCrunch.com reports that the EU has put out a formal statement of objections to what they call abuse of antitrust rules due to bundling Teams with their cloud-based suites for businesses. And those would be Office 365 and Microsoft 365. The EU has just opened an antitrust probe that did open it a year ago, last July, after 2 years of complaints from Teams rival Slack. Microsoft did partly unbundle Teams last August, which really didn't fully go into place until April of this year. But the EU says Microsoft needs to do more. The EU says the bundling of Teams gives Redmond a distribution advantage, quote unquote, over rivals like Slack and German platform AlphaView. They also point to the lack of interoperability between Teams and rival programs. Microsoft has been invited to respond to the charges, but as yet hasn't reacted. Meta is getting set to launch Threads users the ability to like and see replies to their Threads posts on Federated platforms. According to TheVerge.com, up to now, if you made a post on Threads that was syndicated to another platform like Mastodon, you couldn't see responses to that post while you were still on Threads. You'd have to head over to Mastodon. Now, you can see those likes and replies right in Threads, although to reply to a reply on Mastodon, you still have to actually log into it. New York City has had a pay rule for about a half a dozen years that has made companies like Uber and Lyft pay their drivers even during idle time between fares. Now, Engadget.com says the past month, Uber has been locking drivers out of its apps during low-demand periods. Lyft has threatened to follow suit. At least one drivers' union says it may consider a strike if the lockouts continue. The drivers are mad, as you would assume. Some of them blame Uber for overhiring, saying that's one of the main causes of the problem. Apple has been concerned for years over the reliance on production of iPhones in China. MacRumors.com reports Apple has instructed managers at Foxconn and other assembly partners to reduce the number of workers on the assembly lines by up to 50% the next several years. There's already been a significant amount of automation in the iPhone 15 lines, but some work is just too complex to automate. Cupertino has shelved further automation for iPhone 16 due to, quote, a high rate of defects. The goal doesn't seem to be so much to cut humans to save costs as to be able to move even more iPhone assembly to countries outside of China, like India, Vietnam, and Thailand. I'm Clark Reid, and you're Technified for now.